Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Lola. I am your facilitator for the duration of the next 3 days. I can't tell you what an enormous pleasure it is to see you. Thank you for coming to Vienna and participating. It's just, you look fantastic from this end. It's such a lovely cross-section of the global nutrition community. Now, at the risk of embarrassing some of you, I just need to point out, wonderful, Obey Mir, please come up. At the risk of embarrassing some of you, can I ask those participants who work with governments trying to combat moderate acute malnutrition to stand up? People working with governments facing MAM. Oh, you're all shy, aren't you? Get up there. You're not employed by a government. Sit down, Dr. Golden. Well, everybody then should be standing on your criteria. Listen, I just want to affirm your presence. I think what we heard yesterday from Ricardo and from David about needing to be grounded in the realities that governments are struggling with, I think that needs to be fed into our discussions over the next 3 days. And I especially thank you for being here. Wonderful. Take your seats. So we also have people from the United Nations agencies. We have huge arrays of academic thinkers and researchers. We have people from the NGO community. We have private sector representatives. Do we have anybody from the military? No. Any other group that we've missed? We had a child yesterday. That was really exciting. When was the last time you were in a conference with a child? Anyway, a very warm welcome to you all. I would like to just point out a few practical things with you. But before I do that, I just want to walk you through the agenda for the next 3 days. So in your conference pack, you have a little booklet that looks like this, and that's your detailed program. Now, there have been some changes to the speakers or panelists, and those changes are indicated in a printout just outside the conference entrance. So we have 3 days. We have 3 packed days. We really wanted to maximize our use of our time together. So each day there are 3 sessions, and I just want to walk you through what we're going to be covering. So we'll start today. We'll just get a sense of the scale of the problem of MAM and its links to maternal undernutrition. And then we'll review what we know about what works and hear from 4 key UN agencies that are responding to MAM globally. And then we'll learn from countries about what they're doing and facing in combating moderate acute malnutrition. Session 2 will then take us into some technical details concerning the relationship between wasting and stunting, which are important in considering which programs are likely to make a difference. Both nutrition-specific and nutrition-sensitive approaches will be outlined, with a more detailed look at blanket feeding and cash transfers as particular techniques in combating MAM. Session 3 then dives into a particular group of vulnerable to the whole MAM problem, and that's infants below 6 months. And we'll be looking both at assessment and responses to moderate acute malnutrition in infants. And that's the end of today. Tomorrow we'll begin by considering the experience of community-based approaches in helping to manage MAM, drawing generic lessons from a number of country experiences, and then delving into specific aspects of programs in terms of admissions, discharge, and follow-up. Then we're going to be looking in session 5 on specific techniques and tools in assessing the impact of MAM. And this is really important because we're at that juncture of really needing to gather evidence about the effectiveness of nutrition-sensitive approaches, particularly. So we'll be looking at how we assess the impact of MAM. And the presentations will first outline some of the challenges faced by research programs, ethical or technical and contextual challenges. And then we'll have two examples from Burkina Faso and Mali where the impact of MAM was measured successfully. And then session 6 will be our last session tomorrow, and that will examine issues of capacity. And we often hear about capacity being a key bottleneck in the effectiveness of prevention and management programs. And we'll be talking about both the demand from countries and the supply of capacity development programs in support of those countries. And then on to our third and final day. We'll begin with learning about recent research and developments that have been used. We'll be learning about recent research and developments in the formulation of ready-to-use products, specialised foods for the management of MAM. And I suspect, and we've got a huge panel for you in session 7, and I really anticipate that will be quite a dynamic and interesting conversation. Session 8 is about cutting-edge approaches in research that 3 universities have been undertaking, all of which have bearing on our operational responses to manage MAM. And finally, we will then go to our last session, which will be asking the question, so what? How has this conference made a difference? And for that, we'll be hearing the views of an impartial academic, a professor, and then we'll be talking to 3 countries about how they feel the conference has supported them in their leadership role in managing MAM. And finally, you will have your say. We'll make sure that there's space for a lively end of conference discussion to hear your views about what you are going to take away from Vienna.